Today, we delve into the rich intellectual heritage of the Islamic Golden Age, focusing on two monumental figures whose contributions have shaped our understanding of history. Their names is Ibn Khaldun and At-Tabari. Ibn Khaldun, often regarded as the father of sociology and historiography, introduced groundbreaking theories on the rise and fall of civilizations in his work of art, Muqaddimah. His work goes beyond recounting historical events, offering a deep analysis of social, economic, and political factors that influence human societies. At-Tabari, on the other hand, is celebrated for his encyclopedic contributions to early Islamic history. His masterpiece was Tarikh al-Rusul wal al-Muluk, also known as History of the Prophets and Kings, stands as one of the earliest and most comprehensive historical chronicles, providing precious insight into the lives of prophets, caliphs, and nations. Together, these scholars illustrate the depth of Islamic intellectual contributions to history, blending thorough scholarship with visionary perspectives. Let's now explore the extraordinary legacies and timeless lessons they offer to us today.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today I will explain about one of the important figure in the world. He is Ibn Khaldun. Ibn Khaldun born in 27 May 1332 in Tunisia. He is one of the greatest thinkers of the medieval Islamic world. His full name is Abu Zaid Ar-Rahman Ibn Muhammad Ibn Khaldun Al-Hadrami. His family came from Yemen, then moved to Andalusia and later settled in North Africa during the War of the Reconquista. This background influenced his idea with the mixing of Arabs, Andalusian, and the North African culture. Ibn Khaldun was growing up in a time of political chaos and learning in Al-Maghrib. Ibn Khaldun saw both the struggle of rulers and the rich tradition of knowledge in his time. His family also part of the elites, part of the city elites, and that made sure he got an excellent education. When he was a child, Ibn Khaldun was memorized the Quran and giving him a strong base of Islamic teachings. He also studied Arabic grammar, literature, law, and theology with a famous teacher and philosopher in Tunisia. What made Ibn Khaldun unique was the people was thirst of knowledge that he loves to study in many areas. For example, he studied in field like philosophy, logic, maths, and natural science. The subject that were not and also the subject that were common in regular Islamic studies. This wide range of knowledge has become one of the important part of his work. The world around Ibn Khaldun during his years was unstable. The Hafsid dynasty, that one of the ruling dynasty that was ruled Tunisia, was full of conflicts and external pressure. When Ibn Khaldun was teenager, the Black Death hit the North Africa. That was the Black Death was killing many people and disrupt the society. This disaster has made him to think deeply about how the fragile human societies and what caused the historical change. When the Ibn Khaldun was 20, Ibn Khaldun life has changed after losing his parents because of the Black Death plague. He decided to work in politics. His reputation as a scholar and his family connection helped him to get a job as a secretary in a Hafsid court. But politics were risky, because why the politics of risky? Because the politics full of betrayal and shifting alliance. Ibn Khaldun had to be careful and smart to survive when he became a politician. One of the big events in his life is when he got in the prison by the Sultan of the Tunisia because the Sultan thought he was not loyal and jailed him. And jailed him. This time, when the Ibn Khaldun alone, Ibn Khaldun think deeply about the power of leadership. After he was released, he traveled across the North Africa and Andalusia because he wanted to looking for a stable life and support. This travel gave him a new ideas and experience that shaped his later work. Uh, what stands out about the Ibn Khaldun's early life is his strength and ability to adapt in all the circumstances. Even with all the challenges he faced, he kept learning and growing his ideas. His travels, struggles, and studies, and all helped him to create his famous book, the Muqaddimah, where the books is explained about the rise and fall of the civilization and how the societies work and also how the histories can be changed. To summarize, Ibn Khaldun's early years shows the larger of historical force of his time. His privilege that gave him access to the knowledge and power, but his hardships and what he learned from them shaped his unique ideas. By combining the personal experience with deep thinking, Ibn Khaldun has become a thinker whose their idea still important until today.
Now, let's journey into the intellectual world of Ibn Khaldun, one of the most influential Muslim scholars in history. His masterpiece Al-Muqaddimah remains a cornerstone of historical analysis and sociological thought. Ibn Khaldun's Al-Muqaddimah is often hailed as the first work in the field of non-religious philosophy of history. Unlike traditional historians who focus on narrating events, Ibn Khaldun sought to understand the why and how behind the rise and fall of civilizations. He laid the foundations for modern historiography, inspiring generations of thinkers to view history not just as a sequence of events, but as a science to study critically. One of his groundbreaking ideas is his cyclical theory of empires. Ibn Khaldun observed that civilizations go through distinct stages, rising to power, reaching their peak, and eventually declining. This concept is resonated with historians and sociologists alike, offering a universal framework to understand the dynamics of power and change. Central to his analysis is the concept of asabiyah, or social cohesion. He argued that the strength and unity of a community are pivotal to the rise of states and their sustainability. When asabiyah weakens, the foundation of a civilization begins to crumble, leading to its eventual downfall. In essence, Ibn Khaldun's insights in Al-Muqaddimah were far ahead of his time. His work continues to be studied and admired, not only for its historical value, but also for its relevance to understanding societies today. Ibn Khaldun's legacy reminds us of the importance of critical thinking and the timeless lessons history offers. Now, let's turn our focus into Ibn Khaldun's next contribution to history, which called historical methodology. In his work of Kitab al-Ibar and Muqaddimah remain unmatched in their depth and innovation. Ibn Khaldun supported a critical approach to history, challenging the traditional narratives of his time. He emphasized the importance of verifying information, urging historians to cross-check sources and assess their reliability. According to him, no event should be taken at face value. Instead, its context, causes, and consequences must be carefully examined. This rigorous methodology paved the way for a more scientific and objective study of history. In his monumental work Kitab al-Ibar, translated as the Book of Lessons, Ibn Khaldun crafted a comprehensive history of the world. Unlike many historical texts of his era that focused narrowly on specific regions or cultures, this masterpiece explored the histories of diverse civilizations, providing a panoramic view of humanity's shared journey. His ability to analyze patterns across civilizations set his work apart as a truly global history. Through his critical approach and comprehensive vision, Ibn Khaldun redefined what it meant to study the past. His methodology not only enhanced the accuracy of historical writing, but also deepened our understanding of the force-shaped society. In a world where misinformation can easily spread, Ibn Khaldun's legacy reminds us of the enduring value of skepticism, verification, and thoughtful analysis in uncovering the truth.
In the year 224 after Hijrah, or 830 ACE, a child was born in the ancient town of Amon, nestled in the large province of Tabaristan in what we call now Iran. His name is Abu Ja'far Muhammad ibn Jarir al-Tabari. Even as a young boy, it was clear that little al-Tabari was no ordinary child. His memory was astounding, his focus unshakable. By the tender of age 7, he had committed the entire Quran to memory, a remarkable feat that left his teacher in awe. But al-Tabari was not content with merely reciting the words of the Quran. At the age of 8, he turned his attention to the study of hadith, immersing himself in the sayings and tradition of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Bima'na al-hadith. His days were filled with reading, writing, and asking questions, always asking questions. His parents and teachers marveled at his curiosity for knowledge. They say he had a wisdom far beyond his years, a gift that could only come from Allah. From a young age, Al-Tabari world was one of books and learning. He delved deeply into Quranic tafsir, seeking to understand not just words, but the meaning behind them. He studied hadith with precision and practiced Islamic jurisprudence with earnest curiosity. Little did the people of Amun know, this boy, sitting quietly in the corner of the mosque with ink-stained fingers, would grow to become one of the greatest scholars in Islamic history. His works would illuminate the minds of generations to come, and his name At-Tabari will forever be etched into the annals of knowledge.
Now, let's explore the memorable contribution of Al-Tabari, significant figure in Islamic history. Al-Tabari made a significant contribution to Islamic history through his book Tarikh al-Rasul wa al-Muluk, where he recorded events chronologically from creation to his time. This preserved Islamic heritage and identity while providing a clear framework to understand political, social, religious development of Islamic society. Though he didn't analyze even philosophically, his method established history as a reliable, accurate science influencing modern historical studies. One of Al-Tabari's contributions to history was his chronological narration and analytic approach. By writing history year by year, he gave reader a clear detailed framework to follow. Each event was connected to the next, helping reader understand how one event led to another. For example, he started his history with the creation of the world according to Islam and followed it with important events like the life, prophet, and kings. This method made it easier for reader to follow the timeline of events and provided a more organized way of understanding history. Tabri used of the analytic approach mean that he arranged history in annual records, noting key events such as war, change in leadership, and the death of important figures. This structure made his work a primary resource in Islamic historiography and influenced many later historians. It made it easier to understand and compare historical development year after year. Another major contribution was his development of isnad, kind of narration, in his historical writing. By carefully referencing the narrator historical reports, such as Ibn Ishaq and Abu Hurairah, Tabari ensured that the sources he used were reliable. This method helped prevent the distortion of history and allowed readers to assess the credibility of the sources. His work set the standard for future students in the Islamic world and remain a key reference for Islamic historical research today. With Isnad, students could check the truth of event and avoid error in storytelling. In his methodology, Al-Tabari created strict guidelines for choosing and evaluating historical sources. By combining sources like the Quran, Tafsir, Hadith, and external sources, he helped researchers make sure that the history they study was accurate. He used Asma al-Rijal in Hadith, also helped ensure the quality and integrity of historical sources. He encouraged scholars to use multiple sources in and critical thinking, which made historical writing more ethical and objective. Al-Tabari was very careful when collecting historical facts. He didn't just accept one version of events, but present different accounts from various sources. He allowed readers to make up their own mind about the truth, showing different versions of the same events. This approach gave a reader the ability to look different perspectives and understand the complex of history. A Tabari method of critical gathering sources has had a big impact on both Islamic and Western historians. In short, Tariq al-Rasul wa al-Muluk by al-Tabari is an outstanding explorer of Islamic history, great with objective and accuracy. The original manuscript has been used by many historians. The History of the Prophet and King, the translation of Al-Tabari works by French Protestant, saw its wide influence in the academic world. That's all.